Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today we're going to be making Tiana, and she's in her detachable skirt that allows her to stand up. So the colours that we're going to need are black for her hair, a darker skin tone for her skin, we're going to use a yellow and a green for her dress, and I'm going to use a goldy colour for her little tiara. But you could use clear or whatever you really choose to use. You're also going to need 2 mini pony beads for her eyes, so I'm going to put those to one side as well. So we will get started. Our loom is a single loom, and we're going to have it in the offset position, which means columns 1 and 3 are going to be slightly lower than column 2. The open part of the peg is going to be facing toward you if you don't have arrows. If you do have arrows, the arrow is facing towards you. We're going to be double banding. Double banding means you take 2 bands and you place them on the peg together as if they were a single band, and that makes the figure a little bit more robust, a little bit firmer, more solid, and it just looks and feels better that way. So let's get started. We're starting off with her hair, and make sure you push your bands down, and then her skin tone. Now if you see that your bands are slightly twisted, just run your hook along the inside of them and they do straighten out. Keep pushing your bands down. Across the face here I'm going to take a single band and stretch it to capture these 3 pegs, and that's a crossover band. And across where I'm going to put the eyes, before I do that I'm going to twist a brown band 3 times, so once, twice and 3 times, and place that on that peg and this peg. Oops, that wasn't very good of me. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. So place it on these 2 pegs, and that stops the eyes from sinking to the back of the figure. So for the eyes, I place mine on my little 2.75 crochet dude hook, which I got at Michael's. I'm going to thread them onto a band. Now you can use bands, you can use different kinds of beads, whichever you choose, and however you thread them. You might use floss, a hook, a metal threader. I have a metal threader that I made out of a twisty tie, and the tutorial on how to make one of those is on my YouTube. So place the eye band here from these 2 pegs, and then take the middle part here, split that band and put one side above that peg and the other side is below it, and that acts as a crossover band. For her neck we're going to use 3 bands. It gives it a bit of strength, so place those on her neck, and then shoulders are going back to 2 bands. Can't place it for love nor money. There we go. And 2 down here to her chest area. Now I'm going to start using green. I'm using it's a new Rainbow Loom green. I haven't tried this before, but we'll see how it feels. We're going to be 4 pair down here. So that was 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the same on the other side. 2, 3 and 4. Now in the middle we're going to be using the yellow bands, so that's 1, 2, Oh, I can feel that one's about, oh no, it's not. I thought it was about to break. I'm going to put 2 yellow from this side to this side, and 2 yellow from this side to this side. And I'm going to push those down because we've got arms to fit on there as well. I'm going to put 1 more pair of yellow here, and then back to green. I'm going to put skin tone for her legs, so 2, like that. Now for her shoes, we're going to take 2 green, wrap it once and twice, and slide onto 2 green. Reclaim the end of your bands. Get another 2 green, wrap it once and twice, and this time you're sliding onto a pair of skin tone. Take the first one that you made, and these 2 bands that are closest to the end of the hook, you're going to slip off and onto those flesh tone bands. You're going to take the flesh tone bands off your hook and swap them with the other side of the flesh tone bands and slide those green bands onto them. Then you're going to reclaim your flesh tone bands onto your hook, twist it up this way, and that forms her little shoe. And we'll just pop that there. We're going to do the same for the other side. 2 green bands, twist once and twice, slide onto 2 green bands. If I can get it. There we go. Reclaim the end of your bands, then take another 2 green bands, twist once and twice, and slide onto a pair of flesh tone. Move the one that you made first up and take the 2 closest to the end of your hook up and off onto the flesh tone bands, and then swap places with the flesh tone bands with the other side, and then move the green ones up and off onto that. Reclaim your flesh tone bands and twist it the other way this time, and it will go on this little leg here. So there's her shoes. Now we need to do arms. She wears yellow gloves. So take a single band, wrap it once, twice and 3 times. Take a pair of yellow and we're going to slide that on. Like that. Move it down to the middle and reclaim your bands. Another pair. Reclaim, and 1 more pair, and reclaim. Now we're going to do 2 pair of the flesh tone, and we'll pop that on her shoulder here. Let's do the same for the other side. A single band, wrap it once, twice and 3 times. Slide that onto a pair of yellow. Reclaim the end of your bands. Slide onto another pair of yellow. Slide this onto 1 more pair of yellow, and then 2 pair of flesh tone. make sure they're not too tangled up. And we'll pop that on her other shoulder here, like that. Now we need to do some crossover bands, so from here to here we're going to take a single flesh tone band and stretch it across, and then we're going to take this part that's sort of sitting here lonely and loop that up over that green peg, the peg there with the green band on it. Now for the ones across her waist, we're going to take a single band and twist it and stretch it across these 3 pegs. Now if you can't stretch it with your hands, use a hook. These are silicone bands, I believe, so they don't have that much stretch in them. Stretch it across, and then for these I'm just going to place a single band across without looping it on itself. She's got her face crossover bands. We need to do her hair, so she has a messy bun on the top, so take 4 black bands, slide them on your hook, wrap once, take another 4 black bands and slide those original 4 onto them like that. Now if you remember the other princesses that we did, we're going to splay these out so that you have 2 either side, a top and a bottom. Okay, we're going to put our hook through the bottom and the top, and then you're going to do the same the other side. Now if you don't have another hook, try a pencil or a toothpick just to hold it until you can move to the other side. So take the bottom ones and move them up and over and off your hook. Same this side, up, over and off your hook, and then you're going to reclaim them on the same hook like that, and that will be her bun to go on the top of her head here. We're going to give her some oomph to her hair. At the moment it's sort of just this bun. So let's take a single black band, wrap it around a hook once and twice, and slide it onto a pair of black bands, and then another pair of black bands like that. Now the top ones on our hook are going to sit on the side where her eyes are, and then you're going to poke your hook through the end cap and stretch that down to her jaw like that. We'll do the same on the other side. A single black band, wrap your hook once and twice, slide onto a pair of black bands and one more pair of black bands. Put this side next to her eye, just there, and then push your hook through the end cap like so. We're going to stretch that and place it down here by her jaw, and that is a very loose band. I wonder if it's been stretched for something else. I'm going to swap that band. I think it's going to look rather odd, so bear with me. I'll do that again. See how stretched out that one is? So 1 and 2. I'll get a new band to add to that, slide that on, and these 2 slide on, and we'll throw that one away. Pop this on the side of her head, and then put your hook through the end cap and place here by her jaw. There we go. Alright, let's start looping her up. Dig down and find the 2 flesh tone bands and loop up to the peg above it. Now when you come across the crossover bands, push them back with the back of your hook to get those 2 bottom bands to loom up. Push them back. Same this side. Push the crossover bands back. And these silicone bands are very tight. Loom up the middle column. Now let's do the arms first, so loom these ones up to the arm and this side, and then we're going to do this middle bit here, so take the 2 top bands and link over to the corresponding peg. Push that down, same this side. And then we're going to do the arms. Before we do the chest, we'll do the arms. Dig down, find the 2 bottom, I'm going to switch hooks. 2 bottom flesh tone bands and loop that onto that middle peg there. Same this side, find the 2 bottom skin tone bands. If it's tight, wiggle your hook around the outside of the peg and it loosens things up for you. Loop up the middle. We've got to find these 3 at the bottom here. Wiggle it up. There we go. Now 2 top bands. Loom to the side. 2 top bands. And loom to the side. We're going to take her hair off for a second, so just grab that onto your hook and then hold it with your fingers. Grab the 2 bottom flesh tone bands and loom up. Put the hair back and dig down to find the 2 black bands and loom up. Same on this side. We'll take the hair off, hold it out to the side, dig down and find the 2 flesh tone bands, loop them up, put your hook, hair back on your hook. Oops, nearly lost one. There we go. Replace the hair next to the eyes. Ah, I see what happened. It's a broken band. Let's fix that now. Place my hook through there. Haven't had much luck this side with her hair, have we? Alright, 2 bands. And we're going to slide these up and over like that. And we will place her hair next to her eyes. Get off, hook. Okay, now let's find the 2 black bands at the bottom and loom them up. We'll do the center, loom up and loom up, her hair here and on this side, and lastly the hair in the center. Now we're going to take 2 black bands to tie this off. Dig your hook down, poke it out the side and place your bands on it. Twist your hook so the smooth side goes against these bands and doesn't snag anything. Pull it to the back of the peg, and now we're going to do what we did with Belle. We're going to splay these bands at the front out to go over the bun, and then we're going to reclaim our bands behind the bun like that. Take the 2 closest, up, over and off, pull tight, and now again what we can do is twist this over the bun to secure. Okay, and we don't have to tie off anything now further. That's secure. We've done everything we need to. Let's take her off the loom. And I use the hook to help me where bands are tight or there's a lot of bands on the one peg. It relieves some of the pressure on the bands and you're less likely to have a breakage. We'll take her off the loom and stretch her out. Okay, so for doing her tiara, we're going to take a single gold band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and place it on your loom. Do that again. One more time. And now over to the side here, we're going to do one more. Let's put an end cap on here. Wrap around your fingers once and twice. Place that on, and I'm going to take my hook, grab that band out and twist it one more time like that. Digging down past that end cap, grab the 2 bottom bands, hold the end cap in place so it doesn't fly off, and you're going to loop it up across here. Loop this one up, loop this one up. Take this one off the loom onto your hook, and it's going to be replaced up here on this peg, like that. Dig down for the 2 bottom bands and loom them up. Take this off onto your hook, like that. We're not tying it off. Okay. Spread them out so it's nice and even. Excellent. Alright, taking a single black band, we're going to slide the first 2 gold bands off onto that, and we're then going to replace that black band on our hook, take the one nearest to us up and over, and pull tight, like that. Let's do the same to the other side. Single black band, move them off, place this back on the hook, take the one closest to you, up and over, and pull tight. That's going to be her tiara. We'll place that on her head here. So what I'm going to do, grabbing a fine hook, push it through the back of her head where I want her tiara to be. Grab one loop, the black loop, and pull it through. Do the same on the other side of her head in the same spot, and pull it through. Okay, so her tiara is either side, and you've got these 2 loops at the back of her head. I'm going to try and make that one come at least out the same spot. And all you're going to do with these loops is fasten it over each one over her bun. Like so, and get rid of the cat hair. Alright, so there is her tiara. We need to make her skirt, so I'm going to use the monster tail for that, and I'm going to be using green bands. I'm going to start with a couple of the yellow ones as my base. So taking a single band, I'm going to place one end on one peg, and I'm going to twist it into a figure 8. Now if you don't have a monster tail, do not fret. There is a video on YouTube, my YouTube channel, on how to make one of these skirts without a monster tail, just on your regular loom. And it's showing you how to make a Cinderella one. All you need to do is change the colours to whatever colour your princess is wearing. So our first row is always the figure 8, like that. Then our second and third are going to just go on straight. And you are going to need to make sure that you push these bands down. Unfortunately, these pegs on this monster tail are not very tall, and the lip is not very big, so the bands do fall off quite easily, which is not the best. So that's row number 2. We're going to do 3 rows. So let's go around again. And you're actually going to need 16 of these rows in total. So I tend to jot down what row I'm on a piece of paper, because I have a memory like a sieve. Push them all down. I'm using my Rainbow Loom hook to do these, I find it easier. Grab the bottom 2 bands and lift up and over. So you're left with 4 bands on each peg. When you do place the bands, try to get them straight and not twisted on each other, because you're always going to be pulling out the bottom 2, and you do want to make sure that you've got the right bottom 2. So there we are. Now let's place row number 4. Like that, and again take the 2 bottom, lift up and over, and keep pushing them down. And then we do number 5. So as I said, we need to do 16 of these. I will pause the video, and you can pause the video too, and we will catch up with each other when we have placed the bands for row number 16, and we'll finish the dress off together then. I'll see you in a minute. Well, I'm back. I'm at row 16. I hope you're back too. I'm going to loop my 16th row over, and now I'm going to go round again and take the 2 bottom bands up and over, so I'm left with 2 bands on each peg. Now that I've done that, I'm going to use a hook, and I'm going to collect up all of these bands onto my hook, and I kind of keep my thumb on these ones at the end so that they don't fly off and get lost in the nothing. There we go, all of them are on my hook. Now what I'm going to do is take 2 of the green bands and I'm going to tie them together like that, and I'm going to thread all of these loops onto these 2 green bands. Slide it through, take the 2 ends of the bands, move one over the other, and we're going to tie this in a knot. Like that, and you'll have this little loop hanging out. That is absolutely fine. Okay, so stretching this out, you don't really need to stretch it out too much. We're going to slip a spoon inside the skirt from the bottom up to the top, slide this in like that, make sure that all of these bands are nicely spread out and not too twisted, and then we're going to take our little princess and we're going to stuff her shoes inside and then wiggle her body down the bed of the spoon like this. Okay, and then as we pull the dress up and move the spoon down, her legs, I'm doing it slowly so you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes it's more difficult doing it slowly than it is fast. Her legs appear at the bottom here. See? There's her little shoes, there's her dress. Make sure that the dress is positioned at the right height that you want it on her body. And then to make her stand up, obviously she's got, her shoes are sticking out here. So to make her stand up, just pop her shoes inside the dress like that. And then she will stand perfectly. I really hope you enjoy making Tiana, and I look forward to seeing your results. Take care. Bye bye.